Okay, so I was supposed to drop this week's What Happened To video today. Don't worry, that video is dope and it's dropping tomorrow. More on that in a second. I went to sleep last night with several news stories on my mind that I wanted to cover. Then I wake up this morning and we got several more. It's basically just too much stuff going on that y'all might have missed, and I want to fill you in on it. Also, offer my opinion. So Myles Garret is back in the league. Taysom Hill thinks he's a franchise quarterback. Kind of taken out of context, we'll address. The NCAA is back in court talking NIL laws, or name, image, and likeness laws. Y'all know that's connected to the NCAA football series. And then today I'm seeing that Eric Bieniemy should take a college head coaching job. Really? Anyway, all that's ahead, so stick around. Y'all remember to click the thumbs up button if y'all enjoy these news videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe and enable your notifications if you're brand new. Now, one last thing before we jump in. I generally don't like uploading on back-to-back days because for whatever reason, like 50% of the time, the YouTube algorithm just doesn't like to push that day 2 video out. So I'm letting y'all know right now, I am dropping the What Happened To video for this week on tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you're watching this video, make sure you're back 6 p.m. tomorrow Central Time to check out this week's What Happened To video. It's a damn good one, and I do not want y'all to miss it. So once again, enable your notifications and just manually check the channel tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time because that's when it's dropping. Sorry for the long ass intro. Without further ado, y'all already know what time it is, fellas. Cue the wang. So Myles Garret is back. Myles Garret was reinstated by the NFL earlier today. All y'all should recall the altercation that he got into with Mason Rudolph and a couple other Steelers players last season. Following the altercation where Myles smacked Mason Rudolph with his own helmet, Myles was suspended indefinitely but has now been reinstated. Here's a statement from the Browns organization. "We welcome Myles back to the organization with open arms. We know he's grateful to be reinstated, eager to put the past behind him and continue to evolve and grow as a leader. We look forward to having his strong, positive presence back as a teammate, player, and a person in our community." Now, Myles' reinstatement is effective immediately, but according to Adam Schefter, he's actually going to be heading to Tanzania next week as a part of the Water Boy program, which helps bring clean water to communities in East Africa. Now, I know we live in a pessimistic world, and I'm almost 100% positive that somebody is going to come in and probably try to run with the narrative that Myles is just doing this to clean up his image after that altercation that he had. Let's go ahead and put that to bed right now. Myles has been a part of the Waterboy program for over 3 years, and he was named captain of said program in September due to his commitment. So yeah, he'd been doing this for 3 years, was named the captain in September, then he had the altercation in November. So once again, the two things have absolutely nothing to do with each other. By the way, if you're new and you're unaware, I'm a Bengals fan, so Myles coming back is terrible for me and Joe Burrow, you know what I'm saying? But with that said, I'm honestly happy for Myles. Don't get it twisted. He was wrong for what he did. He shouldn't have swung the helmet and hit dude. He deserved to be punished, and he was punished. He was suspended for the last 6 games of the 2019 season. If you haven't seen my video on that entire situation, I break the whole thing down, and that's one of my more disliked videos, but honestly, I feel like that had to come from people who feel like they should be able to do whatever they want with no repercussion. He lost his cool in a major way, had a terrible moment, but ultimately, I'm glad he's been reinstated into the league. He didn't have any baggage before that point. He'd even taken a punch to the face by a random fan and didn't retaliate that same summer before this whole thing happened. If you feel differently, definitely check out that breakdown video. You might change your mind. Next up, we got the NCAA back in court talking name, image, likeness law. According to ESPN, NCAA President Mark Emmert urged Congress to put restrictions on college athletes' ability to earn money from endorsements, telling the Senate committee Tuesday that federal action is needed to maintain uniform standards in college sports. All this came after player-friendly laws were approved in California and are under consideration in other states. Emmert's argument that if this stuff is implemented, these laws would give some schools an unfair recruiting advantage and open the door to sponsorship agreements being used as a recruiting inducement. This will create a huge imbalance among schools and could lead to corruption in the recruiting process, according to Emmerich. But according to Sports Illustrated, most of the senators he was talking to really wasn't trying to hear that crap. Senator Richard Blumenthal said the system is deeply unfair and marred with inconsistencies. I think this whole system has to be fundamentally reformed. Far-reaching fundamental reform. The NCAA has a role to play, but only if it gets into the game, which right now it is failing to do. It got kind of crazy too, because throughout the entire process, as Emmerich was kind of giving those canned NCAA responses, y'all know the ones we always get. So basically he kind of shooting those off, but the senators not having it. They cutting them off, calling BS, mainly because most people already believe there's tons of corruption in college recruiting anyway. The ESPN article that I'm referencing went on to point out the federal criminal case involving shoe companies paying basketball players to attend schools that they sponsor. So allowing players to earn endorsement money won't create any additional problems. Now things would just be above board instead of under the table. The executive director of the National College Players Association chimed in and said this: the power conferences have the advantages and they consistently pull the best recruits. They will continue to get the recruits. The reality is you're not going to change the recruiting by limiting players' opportunities. One senator was so pissed off about the whole James Wiseman situation and the fact that Emmerich couldn't even give her a solid answer. As he's kind of bumbling through his statement, she just jumped up, "You the CEO!" Then she walked out the damn room. It got kind of crazy, bro. It basically seemed like the NCAA was just there to try to stall for time. They said that any suggestions couldn't be implemented into the bylaws until as early as January 2021. But the senators was like, nah, bruh, that's too long. They was actually kind of annoyed at the fact that Emmerich and his boys showed up with no plan in place. Again, this is 5 months after the Fair Pay for Play Act passed in California. 5 months later, they still have no tangible plan. They're actually supposed to present their new plan in April, but as of yesterday's hearing, it seemed like they had nothing. Now, there's a whole lot more that happened like inside the case, but not any concrete outcome as of yet. But if you want to watch the whole 2-hour thing, shout out to my boy over on Twitter, who I advised not to watch the whole 2-hour thing because I knew nothing was going to get done. But if you do, I'm going to leave the link in the description. You can click it and go check that out. I'll have more on this over the coming weeks and months as more information comes out. Next up, we got Taysom Hill. Now, I did a What Happened To video on Taysom Hill a little while back and covered his amazing, and I mean amazing, journey into the NFL. It seems like he has some pretty strong words for the Saints and his future. However, the quote that was actually taken and the one that's being commented on is a fragmented quote. Now, I'm not a journalist, so I guess you can say it's a quote if you take like a sentence from this point of the paragraph and then a sentence from here, erase all the stuff in the middle, put a couple dots, and then string those together, because that's pretty much what happened. I guess you could call that a quote. Either way, the guy who reported this did drop the whole interview, and I went in and listened to it. When you listen to the whole thing and it's not taken out of context, it paints a different picture. Taysom was actually super complimentary of Drew Brees and the Saints and Sean Payton and the fans and the city. I mean, the whole, literally the entire 2-minute video. He talked about how he hopes Drew Brees comes back and how Drew is like a brother to him. Then as the interview continued, he was basically asked if he was happy in his current role and what he saw for himself in the future. That's when he said the first part of the quote: "I definitely view myself as a franchise quarterback." He went on to say that's how he views himself, but as he's going into free agency, he's gonna find out how everybody else views him based on, you know, the contract negotiation. He kept talking about how he didn't want to leave and how he loved his time in New Orleans and how it's been a great experience. And that's when we finally got to the second part of the quote, which is in like the last 10 seconds of the interview clip. Here's that whole quote: "As you look at free agency, you have to find the right opportunity for you. You have to find a situation to take care of your family. I want to play quarterback in this league, and if New Orleans don't view it that way, I'll have to leave." Which came across in a completely different way. More like a, yo, I really want to stay here, but I desperately want to try my hand at quarterback. If my current team's not going to allow me to do that and another team will, I'm going to go there. That's pretty much how it came across to me when I listened to the whole thing. I wish I could play it, but I can't for copyright reasons. But when I first saw the little quote on Twitter, Taysom tripping, he got like 6 career completions or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what you mean you a franchise quarterback and if New Orleans don't see it like that, you out? You know know what I'm saying? But like I said, he was super gracious throughout. He's basically just shooting his shot because he's in free agency. He wants to play quarterback, and you got, bro, quarterback get paid way different than gadget player, okay? So do I blame the man for shooting his shot? Absolutely not. All right, let's end on this. Eric B. Enemy. I'm running this thing like Eric B. Enemy back. Now, we've been dealing with a ton of BS with teams passing on Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric B. Enemy. The dude has been on an amazing run as offensive coordinator with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Again, he's coming off a Super Bowl. Didn't even get one head coaching look in the NFL. That's BS. I remember last year, a lot of Bengals fans, including my boy Ace over at New Stripe City, was really pushing for the Bengals to hire Eric Bieniemy before we hired Zach Taylor. We ended up going with Zach Taylor. Now, last year, Zach Taylor went to the Super Bowl and we ended up going with him. This year, Eric Bieniemy wins the Super Bowl, but he still didn't get a head coaching gig. Now it's being reported that he's the perfect hire for Colorado. Bruh. Eric Bieniemy, sir, don't go to Colorado. And look, if you're a Colorado fan, don't take that personal. Here's what I'm saying. The dude is a great coordinator and he deserves a shot as an NFL head coach. I believe the right situation will come along. It's better than going to one of these teams that really didn't want you but was just following the Rooney rules, so they brought you in for 2 years, then don't really give you a fair shake and then get you out of there. The right situation is gonna come along, bro. Just chill, work with Patrick Mahomes, work with Andy Reid, and when the team that really wants you reach out and commit to you and give you time to get in there, get your system implemented and build the culture that you want, that'll be the spot that you go. If you go and take a college job, it takes several years for your recruits to even get in there. And we all know that by midway through next season, bro, Eric Bieniemy will be the hottest head coaching candidate amongst NFL teams. There's no point in going to the college ranks, going sit in the kid living room, telling them you're gonna be there for 5 years and then dipping out after one season and go back to the NFL. Just stay where you at, keep doing your thing, get your check, earn your money, keep building your profile, keep studying, become better, get stronger. And when you get your chance, go over there, smash everybody, and all these teams that passed on you gonna end up looking stupid as hell. You feel me? Do it like that. All right, man, that's all I got for y'all today. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Don't forget, bro, I'm dropping that What Happened To video tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central. Y'all be here, check it out. So I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. My name is FlemLo Raps. One.
Yeah, you'll never know quitter, 'cause I'ma go get it.